Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel, Fantasy Lorenzo.
Wait, what did you say?
Fantasy Lorenzo.
Have a good one.
You guys better subscribe and watch my friend on his YouTube channel. He is kicking ass.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my reviews of both the second and third season of Sons of Anarchy on FX. Just finished season 3, and I finished season 2 some time ago, so I felt bad about missing the window to do a video on that. So I figured I'd do them together because I didn't want to not talk about season 2. And yeah, by the way, I'm using my webcam again right now, having some issues with my camcorder. I know the audio is out of sync for the first couple minutes on the webcam, but hey, at least it'll record past 10 minutes, so that's what I'm looking for right now. But yeah, Sons of Anarchy, I am really starting to love this show. I wish I had checked it out years ago. And, I like to see it. It feels funny to talk about season 2 now because I just finished season 3, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Again, I'm not going to be able to go through every single plot point of the season, so that'd be pretty difficult, but I'm just going to give my general thoughts on both of them. But yeah, I did like season 1, but I think both 2 and 3 really stepped it up. I really think the show found its footing and started really excelling, with a great hook at the end of season 3 in particular, but season 2 was also really something to look at. He had the League, sort of the white supremacist group. He had Henry Rollins in season 2, and what they did to Gemma, I thought was a very kind of real issue to tackle. At least in the way they ended up handling it psychologically with, of course, Katie Siegel, Gemma. I did like how they handled that. Now I bet some people probably said, oh, they're dragging it out too much. I just want, Jax and Clay to find out about it. But really, her psyche and sort of, pushing it back in the way she did and just trying to, not let it affect her, I guess, but, Tara sort of seeing right through that, I thought was really on point. I thought they gave a pretty realistic view on the kind of effect that can have on a person. So I really like that part of it. And of course, I was despite enjoying or appreciating the process, I was totally here for Jax and Clay to find out as well. And when they did, of course, it did deliver. It had one of the best sort of more emotional, serious scenes of the show, at least so far that I've seen. Because Clay and Jax, they were really at odds for a big part of season 2, including their fight in the prison, just sort of let it out. Jax gained the better of Clay, but still not really good for either of them, but this sort of united them. Probably ended up doing exactly what the League didn't want to do, and why Gemma was holding back, because she felt like it would destroy the club, and that was the League's idea. But that's kind of what they needed, which she ended up deciding on, which I thought was really great. And you get Jax, sort of, bring his hands on Clay's shoulders, and I don't know, it's just a really touching scene. And you do get a little bit of sympathy for Henry Rollins' character towards the very end of the season. Seeing him with his kid and everything. It doesn't necessarily make him any better of a person, though. Just that he probably has someone he cares about too. But what is he going to raise his son to be like anyway? So season 2 was very good. You also had the fallout of what happened with Donna, of course, Opie's wife at the end of season 1. And I thought they handled all that with Kim Coates, Teague really, really well. Of course, when Opie finally is able to connect the dots, you get to see him let it out, and really kind of start to beat Teague's face in, and you get the good back and forth with him and Clay. But at the same time, he really ends up putting the blame on Stahl pretty quickly, because Opie, he's sort of a really secret. Opie's just a really smart guy, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. So I really like how he picked through that a little bit, and seeing that Stahl was really the catalyst for all of this. Although it's definitely not good that Clay and the others still handle club business this way. It was triggered by a decision of Stahl's, of course, and a setup of hers, which really does tie in well to how Stahl's story ended up at the very end of season 3. Just as Opie had before. That was a good tie back to season 1, at the end of season 3, by the way. But yeah, again, I just really, really enjoyed season 2. Season 3 I liked quite a bit as well. Now, I remember, I think I remember seeing on message boards at one point that season 3 was less liked for some reason. I don't know, I guess some people, at least some people I read, didn't like the whole the whole Belfast thing, or the Irish story. I think it had its place. I didn't really see any problems with it. I guess some people got impatient with Jax getting Abel back and stuff too. But I found it really interesting. It was good seeing the characters in sort of a different environment and stuff, or at least a different setting. And I thought Jax's sort of moral conflict they ends up having with Abel, and he sees Abel with a good sort of normal family. Starts making him think of John and his own struggles that he discovers while in Belfast, which I thought was all really well handled and tied in very nicely. And conclusion to the season, setting what should be, I think, is a really good season 4. So I didn't really have any problems with those plot points. And finding about John Teller's connection to, I suddenly forget her name, so let's hold on a second. Alright. Did not think it would be this hard to find. Okay, for some reason her name is escaping me right now, but the woman John Teller ended up being really connected to in Ireland, and them sort of building something of their own together, and John's notes or letters to her saying just how disconnected he's felt, again, sort of just that wariness of how this life has affected him, and him just sort of getting the obviously picking up on Clay and Gemma's relationship and how they were growing closer. And I thought it was actually really interesting. I'm sure we're going to hear even more about it. And this show does a really good job of really making you feel conflicted with the characters, because you really have gotten to feel for Gemma over the first few seasons, and Clay, you really feel like him and Jax are in a good place. Even at the end of the season, for what it is, their whole setup with Stahl and everything, I thought was really well played out and put together. But then you have the way John's seen him, and the way you can see they still operate sometimes, or the way they talk about him, and how they're still so worried that Jax is going to still take John's perspective or his outlook on the whole thing. Which it seems like Jax is really starting to reject John at this point, but you can see with the letters that the one had sent, and Tara opening them up and everything. Yeah, I think Tara's really going to be the one to get him to read that, and that's going to cause a pretty big conflict with that. So yeah, I really like Clay, but I can see where this is going to head into another morally sort of gray, conflicted area. Stephen King also guest starred in an episode of the season as a cleaner. Yeah, I thought the whole thing with Gemma's dad was actually pretty good. It was just kind of brief. I wouldn't be surprised if it came up again. He's sticking to a home. Taryn Manning, she came back for a few episodes this season, which I wasn't expecting. Her finding out about Half Pint, the prospect being killed, and her being actually with a guy who had connections to that. It'd be funny if she still kept popping up throughout the season. It's not funny, I shouldn't say that, but I guess maybe Jimmy didn't really make for my favorite villain so far, or antagonist on the show. But I did like the whole story with the priest, and again his connection to John Tyler. I still thought they told a very important and necessary story. Also, the guy who played the priest, he also had a role in Game of Thrones. If you guys watch that show as well, he was the original Lord Commander of the Night Watch when the show starts. So it was good to see him. And also, Tara being pregnant. That sets up another sort of full circle parallel with Jax after everything he's been setting with Abel. Of course, the family and the couple ends up being killed, so he takes Abel back anyway. And you still feel really a great sense of satisfaction from that. So, and also it seems like, yes, okay, hold on. Unser, he ends up, apparently kind of resigning or, laying his badge down. He helps set up the whole stall thing at the end. I was kind of surprised he had that much involvement with it. But he does offer a weed before it happens, so again, I really like how the stall thing played out. And a really, really cool shot of them on the back of the truck. They all appear really mad at Jax. You're dead, and I like that setup. But it made sense that Jax never actually go that far, even if it came to what was going on with his mother and everything, not betraying the club, his family. And just seeing him and Clay start smiling at each other and then them all laughing, that was a real good scene. But yeah, just a lot to talk about. Even the thing with Kim Coates, Teague, and I forget his name again, but the guy with the hair. He was on Dexter as well, from what I remember, in a Reef role. They have this conflict with each other, and Teague really doesn't want him in the club, and you think it's over a woman, and it's kind of interesting. And then the reveal apparently it was something with a dog. So it was funny, but you also kind of get it if you own a pet too, and maybe we'll find out more about it. But so I also enjoyed Emilio Rivera's appearances this season as Alvarez, one of the Mayan leaders. He actually seems fair, and I like how they actually had to work with him this season a little bit to deal with Salazar. I thought it was pretty good too. So season 3, I don't see why some people apparently had a problem with it. I think it was just as good, if not better, than season 2. So I'm giving both of them at least an A-. Maybe one or the other could drift into an A. But I'm trying to leave room for the later seasons to top them, so we'll see. But I still really like both of these seasons. Let me know what you guys thought about them. And so follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.